Before we jump into today's video, I want to give a quick shout out to our channel sponsor, Many Realms. If you're looking for Magic the Gathering and Magic the Gathering related supplies, be sure to check out ManyRealms.com. I'll post a link to their website in the video description, so be sure to go check them out. What is up, everyone? How's everyone doing out there today? Welcome back to Wildcat MTG. And yeah, today seems like a good excuse to open up some Double Masters 2022. Today we're going to have a little draft box battle. How this thing is going to work is we have 4 participants. We're going to crack this thing open. Each one of them is going to get 6 packs. We're going to open those packs in rounds of 3, adding up the mana values for all the rares and all the mythics. And at the end of this thing, the person with the highest total mana value and the person with the lowest total mana value amongst the rares and mythics are each going to get one Edge of Eternity's collector pack to go with their other spoils. In the event of a tie, we will take the highest mana value mythic as the first tiebreaker, the highest mana value rare as the second tiebreaker, and if we need a third tiebreaker, we will go down the line with the highest mana value rare until we have a tie, no more. Many of you know this about me already, but for those of you who don't, Double Masters 2022 is probably one of my more favorite sets, certainly within like the last 4 to 5 years. I think it's a banger. I think it's aged incredibly well. A lot of really good mythics, a lot of really good high-end rares, and like just a really pleasant assortment of like playables. Even if it's not necessarily like, you know, banger rares and mythics all the time, it's a lot of $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $10, $10 playables. Can't have all gas. It is a large set. So there is certainly some rough mythics in there, but I enjoy any set that has good value at the rare level, and this set certainly does have that. All right, we got 6 for Jiggly, 6 for Michael C, 6 for Seth H, and last but not least, 6 for Vincent Y. Good luck, everyone. Let's have some fun. Jiggly, start us off. All right, it is Double Masters, which means we are going to get at least 2 rares per pack. Sometimes you have double mythic packs. Start off with a borderless foil Rakdos Carnarium. That's kind of cool. Very nice. Grapple with the past. First one is a mythic. It is Master of Cruelties. Not one of your top-end mythics, but Master of Cruelties is certainly a fun and cruel card. That is a 5/4 mana value. Next rare is Prized Amalgam, which is a 3. Oh, a little borderless Wall of Omens in there. And that's going to do it there. Let me sleeve up the Master real quick. The top of the food chain would be Imperial Seal. I think Imperial Seal is pushing 120 now. You've also got Mana Vault at Mythic, which is like now also pushing like 75. Phyrexian Altar is threatening, I think it's like 65 at this point. That's at the rare level. Smothering Tide, Force of Negation, Teferi's Protection. All goodies. Rare Surgical Extraction. We will count that as a 1/4 mana value. Followed by a Resto Angel, which is a 4. And that will do it there. Typically, we should see like 6 to 8 mythics per box. Should see 3 to 5 borderless rares and or mythics. And then probably about 2 to 3 foil rares per box. And if you're really lucky, one of those borderless foil mythics is also one of those borderless mythics is also foil. And it's a good one. That's the dream. Civic Saber. Vampire Sovereign. Rare Ashen Rider. Woo, that is an 8 for mana value. And followed by a Rune of the Hidden Realm. Okay, and that's going to do it there. So what do we got going on here? We have ourselves a 5 plus 8. That's 13, 14, 17, 22. Let me run that back. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 plus 8, 17, plus 5, 22 it is. Jiggly, starting off with a 22. All right, Michael C, to you. All right, we also have spaghetti monsters in here, which always make for interesting battles, right? Humming along, and then all of a sudden you see a mana value that is like 10 plus. Between Kozilek, Ulamog, and Emrakul. Rare is Anguished Unmaking. That is a 3. Followed by a Mind Rack Liege. Lieges we don't necessarily want to see a ton of. You got the entire cycle in the set. That is still a 6 for mana value, though. There we go. All right. Agony Warp, Momentary Blink. Rare is a Borderless Vidalcan Orrery. That's actually not bad. I think they're starting to creep their way back up. That is not a bad rare hit. Borderless Vidalcan Orrery. Followed by a Pan Harmonicon. Also not a bad, not a terrible rare for sure. See a lot more Pan Harmonicon effects now, like printed on creatures. All right, next pack for Michael. Wingsteed Rider, Bloodflow Connoisseur. We have a Mythic, and it is Elenda of the Dusk Rose. Elenda's not a bad Mythic. Like, I would say mid-tier. Is a 4 for mana value, and oh, a Thrumming Stone. That is actually an excellent rare hit. I think these are still pushing like $15. So that's also not terrible. Borderless Mole Drifter, Borderless Unearthed. And that, I believe, is going to do it there. So, sleeve up the Elenda. I'll sleeve up a lot of this stuff post-battle before sending them out. 4, 8, 13, 17, 23, 26. Let me run that back. 6, it's 9, 13, 18, 22, 26 it is. All right, and I know the Elenda's a mythic, but we're going to throw the Thrumming Stone on top. Seth, to you. There's 2 mythics out of the box, which actually there should be, as I mentioned, plenty of action still left for the mythics. All right, Arachnus Web, Elvish Rejuvenator. Rare is Smothering Tithe. There is one of those good rares. I think Tithe is up to like 35 plus again. That is a pretty monstrous hit. One of those reasons I really love this set. Follow a Blood Forged Battle Axe. That is a 1. Lightning Helix. Borderless Kasali Pride Mage. I will waste no time sleeving up the Smothering Tithe. Very nice hit there, Seth. All right, next pack. Here we go. Double Masters 2022. It's a banger. All right, Call of the Feast. Doomed Traveler. Ooh. Oh, Seth. That is a borderless Imperial Seal. I mentioned the base copy of a seal is like 118, I think. This is probably still like 125 or something like that. That's you can't really do a whole lot better than that. Unless this would happen to be foil, that's about the best you could hope for. That is an incredible hit. Huge. Congratulations there. And a Figure of Destiny. I'd also say you are very much on the track for the low. Hey, Shadowborn Apostle. Nice little $2 uncommon or so. We will waste no time sleeving up the Imperial Seal. You know I love me some Imperial Seal. Very nice. Seth, kind of crushing it, my dude. All right, your third pack. All right, Little Cryptic Spires. Boros Garrison. Extract from Darkness. Rare City of Brass. Very nice. Another high-end rare and another no mana value or low mana value. Excellent. Followed by Nim Death Mantle, which is also no slouch as a rare. Sheesh. Well, what do we got going on here? 1 plus 4, that's 5. 6, 7, still 7, 8. And is that a 9? 2, 4, 8, and 9 it is. Holy moly. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty low. Absolutely crushing it and carved out a nice little lead for the low. Vincent, to you. That does bring us to Mythic number 3. Again, should still be plenty of action here. That is what you want to see, though. I told you, you hopefully hit you one of those borderless, those good borderless Mythics. Spark Mage's Gambit, Thrive. Rare is Fiery Justice. That is that's not a rare we want to see. That's a 3. Rafiq of the Mani, that is a 4. we can still see like a Mana Drain. There's still several higher end rares like Teferi's Protection, Phyrexian Altar, and Force of Negation are all like 40 to $60 cards, and they're all rares in this set. Mana League, Anointer of Valor. Rare is Machias of the Lunarch, followed by a Teneb the Harvester. Sure. All right, third pack. Strands of Undef, Tusk Guard Captain, rares. There it is. Woo, there you go. Pull one of those huge hits right now. That's to freaking Protection. Very nice. To Master Biomancer. Hey, ooh, Borderless Blood Artist. Very nice at the uncommon level. Don't hate that. And again, sleeve up the Teferi's Protection. Now, I believe we have knocked out 2 of the top 4 in the set between Tithe and Protection, leaving only Force of Negation and Force of Negation. And, what did I just say? Oh, Phyrexian Altar above it. All right, 3, 7, 13, 14, 18, 21. Let me run the back. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 14, 18, 21. 21. Okay. So after the first rounds, we have Jiggly with a 22, Michael in the high with a 26, Seth all the way in the low with a 9, and Vincent with a 21. We head into round number 2. This box has already been tremendous. We've hit a lot of the high-end rares. We hit the highest of the mythics. This box is already tremendous. All right, here we go. Jiggly, back to you. Sidrax's Spectre, Forbidden Alchemy. Rare is Disciple of the Ring, that is a 5. Followed by a Ulashed the Hate Seed, which is a 4. Devoted Druid. Little bounce land. And that will do it there. All right. Next pack. Coiling Oracle. Is it Charm? Another mythic is Animar. Animar, Soul of the... You know what? Animar is not a bad rare pull right there. That's not bad at all. That is a 3 for mana value. I said rare. Splinter Fright. That is a 3. Another Shadowborn Apostle. Little Borderless Monastery Swift Spear. Okay. 3, 6, 10, 15. 5, 9, 12, 15 it is. So 37. And hold on one second. All right. Audio might be a little bit lower at this moment. That is a 37. Michael, back to you. 4-2. You're at a 26. You had the high right coming into this round. All right. Sensor Splicer. Sure. Seeker's Squire. Rare is Boar Tusk Liege. That is a 4. Followed by, Karavik the Merciless. That is a 7. That will help your cause for the high. Summer Bloom, River Hoop, little Path to Exile. And that will do it there. You know what we have not seen? We have actually not seen any rares, any foil rares or mythics yet. So we should still be live, I would say, for at least 2. And aside from the Borderless Imperial Seal, I don't think we've seen any other Borderless rare mythics yet. So should still be live for at least a couple of those. A couple more. Dreamshaper Shaman, Skeletal Archer, Rare is Balefire Liege. That is a 5. Followed by Murkfiend Liege. Double, wow, ew, triple Liege in those 2 packs. All right. Not that I hate the Lieges. They're just, oh, Lightning Bolt. Just not necessarily what you want to see from a value standpoint. I actually think they're still quality cards. They're good cards. They're fun cards. Murkfiend Liege is actually really good for Commander. All right. 5, 10, 14, 21. Let's try 7, 4, 11. Plus 10, 21. That will do it, though. That's going to bring you to a 47. So while the might not have been super impressive on the value, it really did help your cause for the high. Seth, kind of killing it already. In the low by your lonesome. Foil uncommon Mist Meadow Witch. Advanced Stitchwing. Another Mythic, and it's a pretty good one as well. That's Concordant Crossroads. I think Crossroads is back over 20 as well. It wouldn't surprise me if this was in like the 20 to 25 range. That is a 1 for mana value, also helping your cause. Followed by a Guided Passage, which is a 3. Little Rancor. We have hit a pretty good spot on the Mythic sheet. We've, overall, I would say, done pretty well there. Obviously, greatly aided by 1 borderless Imperial Seal. There's a foil rare. It is Phyrexian Tyranny. That is a 3. Elsha of the Infinite. That is a 5. Followed by a Joda Archmage Eternal, which is a 4. Spider Spawning. And that's going to do it there. So what do we got going on here? 4 plus 5, that's 9. 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15, 16. Let me run that back. 4, 7, 12, 16 it is. That will bring you to a 25, Seth, but still pretty good positioning for the low and also just crushing it on value. Vincent, to you for 2. Already with a Teferi's Protection to your name. Not the worst. You have a 21 right now. You'd be chasing Michael by 26, and you would need a lot of low for the low. Foil rare, Abbot of Carol Keep. Well, there's the second foil rare of the box. Not anything to write home. Aether Snipe. Backdraft Hellkite, which is a 5. Followed by an Ob Nixilis Unshackled. Not a bad little card, which is a 6. A Borderless Thought Scour. And that will do it there. Here we go. All right, Cryptic Spire. Oh, there's a Borderless foil rare, and it's a Vidalgan Orrery. All right, not bad. I mentioned that this card's kind of keep creeping its way back up. It is a nice little commander card. Pretty good. You may cast spells as though they had flash. And that is a borderless foil version of that. So that's not terrible. All right, Norback Rhino. Followed by an Alesha who smiles at death. And a Zur the Enchanter. And that will do it there. I'll sleeve up the Orrery. Just real quick. Okay, so what is that going to do for you? Got a couple of bonus foils in there for mana value. 2, 6, 10, 13, 19, 24. Well, that's going to make things close. 5 plus 6, that's 11. 14, 18, 22, 24. 24 it is, yeah. That will bring you to a 45, which will not take you into the high, but it's going to put you darn close with Michael going into that last pack. So here we are. Round 3. Here are the scores. Jiggly with a 37. Michael in the high with a 47. Seth all by his lonesome with a 25. And Vincent right there for the high with a 45. Jiggly, you're kind of in no man's land right now. But as I mentioned, there are Eldrazi in this set. With double rare packs, things can still change. Here we go. Foil uncommon. Another foil common. Okay, first rare. It is, oh, it's a good one too. That is a Grand Arbiter Augustin IV. These have been creeping their way back up. I think the base copy of this is like $12 or $13 now. I would not be surprised if the borderless was like 14 to 18. That is actually a really good rare hit now. That's a 4. Followed by an Atlet Palani, which is a 4. And that is going to do it there. And a little borderless Basilica. Not bad. That will not be good enough for the high today. That is going to be an 8 total. Which takes you to a 45. And you're already still below Michael. So you would need a lot of help from Seth for the low. Seems unlikely. Michael, currently with the lead with a 47. Over Vincent by 2. Arachnus Spinner. Liliana's Elite. Rare is a borderless Assassin's Trophy. That is a 2. Little Assassin's Trophy action there. Followed by a Planar Bridge, which is a 6. That will help your cause. And a borderless Rampant Growth in there. Oh, there we go. So that is a 2 plus 6. That's an 8. Which takes you to a 55 and does currently put you in the high, or keep you in the high by a score of 10 right now. Seth, kind of our big winner already today, and seems fairly locked in for the low. All right, Relief Captain. Lava Coil. Another mythic. It is Lord of Extinction. It's not a high-end mythic, but that's actually not a snooze mythic at all. That's a 5. Followed by Crater Gargadon. Oh boy, that is a 10. I don't think it's gonna matter, but whew. That'll make things interesting. Look at the box score. That is a borderless Spell Pierce. So we're gonna throw in another mythic here because why not? Vincent, really happy, or really sad that you got the Gargadon. Michael, really happy that you got the Gargadon. That is a 15 for you. Brings you up to a 40. It does keep you in the low, and Vincent is already above you, so you have finished in the low despite your last pack theatrics. Vincent, you're currently chasing 10 for the tie. I have no idea what tiebreakers look like at this moment. So 11 or more wins outright. 9 or less does not get it done. 10, we go to breakers. Borderless Foil, Young Peasy. Fireblade Artist. It's a mythic. It is Allosaurus Shepherd, another really good mythic. It has a 1/4 mana value. And a rare of Pillar of the Perunes, which is a 0. It will not be in the cards for you to get the high today. But, you know what? Allosaurus Shepherd, again, I think is like $25 to $30. That is not a nothing burger for mythics. All right. 1 puts you at a 46. That does cement Michael for the high at the least. Well, so final scores here. Jiggly with a 45. Michael, you do finish in the high with a 55. Seth in the low with a 40. Vincent with a 46. But Double Masters 2022. Not everyone can be winners, but the box itself was pretty high end. Teferi's Protection was in there. We saw a Smothering Tithe. We have a borderless foil seal on top. We saw a Concordant Crossroads, an Allosaurus Shepherd, even Animar. Like the mythic quality, we didn't. I know like Master Cruelties isn't anything to write home about, but if that's the least of our mythics, that's still not a bad place to be. This was a really good box. Okay, Seth, you have the low, you have the honors. Now everyone gets to watch me struggle with opening another Edge of Eternals pack because these are. Oh, hey, look. That one actually came open. So these have tended to be my kryptonite. All right, here we go. Borderless Swamp. Sledge Class Seed Chip. Followed by a Beloth Prime as the commander card. An Infinite Guideline Station Extended Art. Rare is, that is a Cathedral of War, that is not Galaxy Foil, but that is a borderless foil. I think that's, that's the poster. It's kind of cool. And a Extended Art Sunset Saboteur. Alright, not the biggest of, not the most banger of Edge of Eternity's packs. Michael, will you fare any better? Although, Seth, I'm going to go out on a limb and say you're doing okay today, right? I would say you're fine. All right, here we go. All right, there's our borderless mountain. Starting off with a Might Form Harmonizer pack foil into the Evendo brush razor. Next up, we have the LG Acolyte in the borderless version. Card is really good and limited. Ooh, we have a mythic. It is a, what are you, Petrified Field. Sacrifice this land, return target land from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, alright. So we got a Stellar Sights mythic. Non-foil, but it's a Petrified Field, and it is a mythic nonetheless. Ooh, what do we got going on back here, though? That, oh, Michael. There we go. That is beautiful. That is a Showcase Foil Exalted Sun, Japanese Foil Showcase Exalted Sunborn, and in English to boot. That is a very pleasant ending to this video. Very, very nice. Congratulations on that hit. Sometimes the prize packs are, in fact, the prize, although the Imperial Seal also the prize today as well. That is going to do it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, do me a favor. If you're not subscribed already, hit the subscribe button for me. Hit the like button for me. And by all means, drop me some comments. Appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks so much, everybody, and be well.